Hello everyone. As I'm sure you can tell by the title, I have autism. Now, to be honest, I don't fully understand autism myself or how to describe it. Also, my autism will be different from someone else's. However, I will attempt to explain it from my point of view. One thing I noticed is that autism tends to come with other conditions like misophonia. By the way, I will give that its own video. That deserves its own rant. For me, my experience has always been very confused. Yes, I can read and write and do other things. Most people wouldn't think I'm autistic. Cue the number of questions and exclamations similar to my left-handed video, like, "You're not autistic, you're a girl," and "You don't appear autistic," and "Hey, we're all a bit autistic." No, you're not. Or, "This person's autistic and they do this." By the way, autism in women is very hard to recognise, mainly because we tend to mask our feelings to fit in. There was a point for me where I mainly just made up friends because it was easier being the weird, quiet kid. However, there are some really annoying things like not being able to read other people's emotions or understand when someone's annoyed with you, or just basically understanding other people's emotions in general, and that can make us come across as a bit cold. Also, sarcasm from other people is hard to gauge, because I can be sarcastic. I even have a sarky sense of humour. But when other people make sarky jokes, sometimes I think they're serious. Also, trying to understand someone else's point of view is something that, at least for me, is very difficult unless I have experienced something similar. If something makes someone sad, I will sympathise with them, but I may not be able to understand completely what they're going through and feel the full gravity of it, because I've not been there, and therefore I can come across as a bit emotionless. I'm sad because they're sad, but I don't fully understand it. However, if someone cries in my presence, I am going to be likely to join in just because somebody is sad. The annoying thing about autism is trying to understand someone else's feelings and emotions. It is very difficult to make friends because people can think you're a bit cruel when you're just trying to make a joke, and people will take what you say very seriously. Sometimes you make a joke and everyone laughs and everything is funny. However, sometimes you might make that same joke and people will be very offended by it, and you can even lose friends, and then you're sitting there like, "Hey, hang on a minute. This was supposed to be funny. You're supposed to laugh. You were supposed to say ha ha ha." Because I, from my experience, don't intend to offend people, so when people get upset, I am literally left scratching my head, wondering what just happened, and I don't have the ability, at least at the moment, to backtrack and think about what I did to offend you, because again, I don't think what I'm saying will hurt your feelings. Like, what just happened? Why didn't you laugh? Is it just me that finds that funny? Most people can go back and retrace their actions and think where the offence happened and not do it. Now, I don't know if every single autistic person will experience understanding the same way as I do. This is just my experience. There is probably a lot of people who are autistic who can tell when they've upset someone. Can notice when someone is upset with them, when they've said something that they shouldn't have, and go back and think about it. This is just my experience. For me, I can't tell. Children and animals, I can normally tell because they don't have a filter and it's obvious how they're feeling. If my dog is upset, I know it, at least around me. When he's around other women, he tries to hide his feelings. But when he's around me, if he's feeling sad, he's going to show me. If he's really happy, he's going to show me. If my cat is upset, he's going to show me. And I know you can get multiple books on how to understand cats and dogs' behaviour, and you can study those. However, human beings do not come with a manual of emotion, because while you can understand the basic ones of happy and sad, if someone's trying to hide their emotions, which animals do not do, or if someone's trying to appear happy but they're not really, that's very difficult for people like me. Now, this is not a video where I'm trying to gain sympathy. I'm just explaining my point of view with this condition. By the way, for me at least, change is a very, very difficult thing. I actually wanted to start doing YouTube way back at the beginning of 2020, but I was so scared of the change that I had to convince myself for 2 years to start. And it was only the death of my cat that made me realise that I can memorialise her online. I can talk about her and have fun if I post it online. Regarding understanding someone else's mood, if someone was upset with me and they don't tell me, I am most likely to be completely oblivious because, again, as I said, it wasn't my intention to hurt your feelings. So if I'm completely oblivious to your bad mood, then because I didn't know, I will carry on thinking that we're on good terms because, again, it wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to prank you or trying to hurt your feelings. So it makes all the difference, but I know that people don't go around saying I'm upset with you because one thing, however, I do know is that people don't do that. They act as if you should know because you can backtrack 9 times out of 10. Then you're sitting there trying to understand how you upset this person that you love as a friend or as a family member. And the annoying thing is, if it's not resolved, it is quite likely that you will keep doing it and they will keep being annoyed with you. Because maybe if they don't understand your condition, they think it's a deliberate act. They think that you're trying to hurt their feelings, that you're trying to upset them. This is very annoying because unless you're a prankster who likes to joke around like that, then you're just trying to make jokes that make people laugh and go about your day. Now, you've got one of two personalities. You've got the people who just don't care, like Eminem, who has Aspergers, and kudos to him for that. However, understanding people is a very difficult thing, even if you love them. I think it's the main reason why autistic people like animals, because when they're happy, you know it, whether it's tail wagging or purring or something like that. If they're angry, they'll growl or hiss or something like that, but they're really expressive. There's no stiff upper lip with pets. There's one more condition that can come with autism, which is face blindness. I will go into that later, but just imagine seeing, say, your mum, whom you've known your whole life. Then you leave the room and can't remember anything but the generic things, if that. This is your family, your blood, but you can't do it. For me, however, when I see them again, I remember. It is terrifying. If there was an emergency with my family and I couldn't see them, what would I do? This is why I play Scrabble Go, because I think it helps me see a lot of faces, including my own, and my favourites, I see them a lot. This is why I do YouTube, mainly because I fear I will forget what Sylvia looked like. There's a way I tend to remember people by nicknames. For example, Bonjo has a big belly, so I call him Big Belly Bonj. That way, if I forget the face, I'll be able to remember based on the nickname. Anyway, that's my take on autism as a girl. If you know anyone with autism, or if you are autistic, put it in the comments. Anyway, if you've got this far, then you're handsome, and you're beautiful, and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.
Hey everyone, my name's Bonjo. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know if you're left-handed or right-handed.